Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So, before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So I don't know if you guys have seen the thumbnail for this video. If you have not seen the thumbnail, take a moment real quick, scroll up and down your YouTube homepage and smash that thumbnail. Fall into the stream. All right. But as you're falling into the stream, make sure you pay attention to the image on the thumbnail. All right. The image on the thumbnail is an idiot that a lot of people are more than likely familiar with. Who's on the thumbnail is my question. If you guys know who's on the thumbnail, put it in the comments for me. All right. That's the person that we're going to be talking about today. All right. Now, what is it that this individual did? This individual did the same thing that he always does. He maintains a position that there's nothing available as far as the debt that's owed to us. However, he's making promises and he's also making considerations about where he's going to divert other funds to. Now, got a question for everybody. Should be a very easy question for everybody to answer. And as you guys come in, y'all know what to do. Bang on that like button. All right. How many times have you heard this? How many times have you heard the same rhetoric while after listening to the rhetoric, and in some cases, immediately after the rhetoric, you see money being spent elsewhere? You see funds being diverted. You see other people being told, we've got plenty of money. How many times have you seen it happen? My question for you guys is, are you tired of it? My question for you is, are you as tired of it as I am? All right. That's the question. All right. My next question for you guys is, have you guys seen the first stream on this channel? If you guys have not seen the first stream on this channel, make it a point to watch it from the beginning to the end. Watch it completely through. Smash that like button, hit that bell, and share that video as well. In that video, we talk about the Disinformation Governance Board. All right. That's something else that we're going to go over in a little bit of detail in this video. We're going to go over this in detail from the person who's running it, and we're going to go over it from the perspective of Barack Obama. And after we get through that, then we're going to talk about the extra money that Joe Biden has that he's throwing around. So again, as you guys come into the chat, make sure you bang that like button. Make sure that you share the video out. All right. Drop your boy a comment so that I know what's going on, so that I know that you guys are in here and doing well and the audio and all of that good stuff is working. And let's get into it. I don't know if you guys know who this is on the screen, but this is the idiot that is in charge of the quote Disinformation Governance Board. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. What do you think that Joe Biden and the Democrats plan to do with their Disinformation Governance Board? That's my question. According to conservatives, conservatives are under the delusion that the only thing that this board will be used for is to silence conservative voices and to allow Black Lives Matter propaganda. Because, as usual, and as we all know, they're delusional. My question is, in reality, not in paint chip reality, like what conservatives eat with mayo, not ranch, what's going to be done with this? Shouts out to Tia 2U. We got Tia 2U in the building. What up with the Tia 2U? Good to see you as always, I hope that all is well. Let's check this out, shall we?
Let's talk about a different topic, which is what you are calling, your department is calling the Disinformation Governance Board. You unveiled that this week. Republicans are calling it Orwellian and comparing it to the Ministry of Truth in the novel 1984. Can you clarify what exactly is this? What exactly will this Disinformation Governance Board do? Will it monitor American citizens?
Now, here's what I want you guys to do. In the comments section, before he explains it, I want to know, everybody that's watching, I want to know what you guys think that this Disinformation Governance Board is going to do. What do you guys think the purpose of this new board is, and what do you guys think that it's going to do? How do you think that it's going to be used? I need to get you guys' ideas on this. I need you guys to jot it in the comments. And also, as you guys come in, I'm going to need you to bang on that like button and share this video all the way to the moon.
Dan, I'm very pleased to do so. It's clear. I mean, those criticisms are precisely the opposite of what this small working group within the Department of Homeland Security will do. And I think we probably could have done a better job of communicating what it does and does not do. So the fact is that disinformation that creates a threat to the security of the homeland is our responsibility to address.
Now, here's my question. What is the definition of disinformation that causes a threat, quote, to the homeland? In my opinion, that's a very loose and a very vague definition, and that definition can be weaponized to where anything can be made to fit that definition. If you guys agree with me, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2.
And this department has been addressing it for years, throughout the years of the prior administration, and an ongoing basis. Disinformation from Russia,
right.
China,
we know
Iran.
The problems, but it's still not clear to me how this governance.
Disinformation from Russia. You guys remember, I don't know if you guys recall, but you need to take a look at TD Hip Hop Media and check out his playlist. If you guys recall, there's a video, and also there's a study. There's a video from CNBC that featured everybody's favorite, Joy Reid, where Joy Reid was saying that reparations advocates and American descendants of slavery / FBA were disinformation Russian bots. If you guys are familiar with that, if you remember that, type in a 1. There was also a study done by Harvard, and the Harvard study alleged that as well. Now, what I find the most interesting is that you guys know that I'm all about reparations. You guys know that I support FBA and ADOS. I've done lots of reports and interviews with TD Hip Hop Media, and I've covered information that I feel, and I hope you guys feel, is very important to our political causes, and also methodologies and ways where we can secure those kind of things. All right. You guys have seen my face. You guys have seen TD Hip Hop Media. Ain't no way in hell we Russian. There's no way in hell that we're Russian. You guys have seen Tariq Nasheed. You guys can hear Jason Black and Professor Black Truth's voice. Tori and Rain. There's no way none of us are Russian. Anybody who is about this kind of stuff. Even for the people that follow Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell, they're not Russian. Look at Marcel Dixon. He's not Russian either. The thing that they're having the biggest issue with is that people are finally starting to wake up. People are finally starting to galvanize, and people are starting to rip themselves away from the Democratic Party like a Band-Aid, and they don't like that. And they're feeling the pain. You ever ripped off a Band-Aid and got a little bit of the scab with it and snatched a patch of hair off as well? They don't like that. It feels like a Brazilian in a sensitive place. You know what I mean? That's what they got to deal with. In my opinion, a lot of the things that we talk about are definitely things that will be targeted by this quote, Disinformation Governance Board. And why is it that a government with a conflict of interest, they have a vested interest in not allowing us alternative perspectives? Why do they get to determine what is versus what isn't disinformation? I want you guys to let me know about that. We got some people in the building. Shouts out to the twins. We got Val Williams and Carla Lockhart in the building. What up, ladies? Good to see you. We got my man RG Titan in the building. What up with it, RG? Good to see you as always. I hope everybody is doing good. I don't know where you guys are, but it is a beautiful day outside. If you guys haven't got a chance to go outside and feel some fresh air and, you know what I'm saying, catch a little bit of that breeze, man, make sure you guys do that. Make sure you guys do that because it's nice. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, for the people that, you know, if you live in the Midwest or, you know what I'm saying, if you're like on the East or whatever, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these spoiled people that live in the South and, you know, a lot of these spoiled people that live in it never rains in Southern California, that kind of bullshit. Y'all get this kind of shit all day. You know what I'm saying? But we don't really get it all like that. We don't really get them good days. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, shouts out to Ice Cube for the contract, to, you know what I'm saying, for Black Americans and for that song, Today Was a Good Day. You know what I'm saying? Go outside and enjoy your good day. You feel me? Shouts out to my man, Terrence Jackson. What up with it, bro? Good to see you as always.
Board will act. What will it do?
So what it does is it works to ensure that the way in which we address threats, the connectivity between threats and acts of violence.
What is a threat? That's my question. A quote threat. See, the problem with these interviews is when we start going down this rabbit hole. See, in my opinion, this is nothing more than McCarthyism. This is also a Red Scare. How many people are familiar with McCarthyism? If you're familiar with McCarthyism, type in a 1. If you're not familiar with McCarthyism or the Red Scare, type in a 2. Shouts out to the Nightbot. Drop some robot emojis into the chat. Shouts out to the Nightbot for keeping his ass under control. You know what I'm saying? We got D-Buck in the building over there on Twitch. Make sure you guys hit the description box and follow all of those other social media. You'll be able to join my man D-Buck over there on Twitch. He says, you're welcome out here in beautiful California anytime you want. That's what's good, man. That's what's good. One of these days, I guarantee you guys will see a live stream from Blacklight Revelations out in California. You know what I'm saying? It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be the next day. Shit, it might not even be next year. Stick around, though. I promise we're going to get one in. You know what I'm saying? Val says it's beautiful here in Delaware Valley so far. I'm about 10 miles outside of Philly. Shouts out to Philly. You know what I'm saying? And Tia 2U is keeping an eye on Nightbot. Behave, Nightbot. You know what I'm saying? Don't start messing with people here.
Are addressed without infringing on free speech, protecting civil rights and civil liberties, the right of privacy. And the board, this working group, internal working group, will draw from best practices and communicate those best practices to the operators, because the board does not have operational authority.
Will American citizens be monitored?
No.
Guarantee that.
Well, so what we do.
Okay, so this woman here just asked if American citizens will be monitored. He says no. My question is he telling the truth? If you guys believe that this guy is telling the truth, type in a 1. If you don't think that he's telling the truth, type in a 2. Now, here's my question, and I want you guys to answer my question after you guys have typed in your 1s and 2s. You know what I'm saying? How in the hell are they supposed to monitor anything? How the hell are they supposed to know what is versus isn't mis or disinformation if they're not monitoring anything? That doesn't make any sense. Shouts out to Still Foxy Forever. What up with it? Shouts out to Porter. What up with y'all? I agree with Val. The man is lying. If you guys agree with Val, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. Oh, Still Foxy Forever peeping that. body language. She said he dropped his eyes. I wish they would have rolled off the table onto the floor, don't you? You know what I'm saying? My man D-Buck says, too, hell no, they've been watching us for decades. That's a fact. One of the most notable times that they've been watching us is with the Patriot Act. You know what I'm saying? They've been on this. Now they're just tightening things up. You know what I'm saying? They've been watching us with C-19 too. Go check. If you guys follow me on Patreon, watch the C-19 videos. Also, if you're not subscribed to Blacklight Revelation C-19 report, make sure you take a moment and subscribe to that channel and watch the old streams where we talked about, especially in Canada, how the government was using the C-19 requirements to keep an eye on people. You know what I'm saying? Carla says it's a beautiful day here near Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Hey, hey, that's what's good.
We in the Department of Homeland Security don't monitor American citizens.
You don't, but will this board change that?
No. The board does not have any operational authority or capability. What it will.
What's the point of the board then? How is it going to do anything? How is it going to do anything? I think that it's misinformation if somebody says this guy didn't tape his eyebrows on. I think that that's misinformation. You know what I'm saying? I think he should disclose the origin of his eyebrows because I just don't think that he's telling the truth. It's just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Will do is gather together best practices in addressing the threat of disinformation from foreign state adversaries, from the cartels, and disseminate those best practices to the operators that have been executing in addressing this threat for years.
Republicans are criticizing
What threat? What is the threat? The only thing that the government has identified as a threat is what? I need you guys to type it into the comments. What is the threat? How many times have we gone over this report? What are the threats? There's only one. What is the biggest threat to national security that has been identified by the FBI over the years? There's only one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, there is only one thing that has been identified by the United States government as a threat. I'm going to need you guys to drop in what it is. If you guys agree with Terrence Jackson, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. If you agree with Val, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. And absolutely, Carla, that's absolutely what Snowden was mad about. You know what I'm saying? That's absolutely what Snowden was mad about. Shouts out to my man Kareem. What up with it?
decision, the administration's decision to choose Nina Jankowicz to lead this disinformation board. They say she is not somebody who is neutral. Your response?
Eminently qualified, a renowned expert in the field of disinformation. Absolutely so.
So now this Jankowicz woman, I don't know if you guys saw the Black Authorities live stream last night. If you guys watched the Black Authorities live stream last night, type in a 1. If you did not, type in a 2. If you did watch the Black Authorities live stream, you got the pleasure of watching this whatever this woman's name is, the woman that they just referred to, sing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. She's not a renowned expert in anything. The only thing that she's a renowned expert in is making absolutely excruciatingly annoying and ugly TikTok videos. That's literally the only thing that that woman possesses expertise in. She is not a disinformation expert. Yeah, you see Porter? Porter says she was up there singing Mary Poppins, and she was. And not only was she singing it, she was doing a horrible job at it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just really, really bad. And it was really, really goofy. You know what I'm saying? No, I got you, Val. And you're absolutely right. That's one of the things that they're going to be looking at more than likely. She says, I mean, the US government thinks that black identity extremism is the biggest threat, but the actual threat is white supremacy. And that's a fact. And you see, that's one of the reasons why they're not mentioning it. Now, here's my question. This Jankowicz woman, or whatever the hell this lady's last name is, how do we know that she is a expert at mis/disinformation? Has anybody ever heard of her? Has she ever intercepted any strategic communications? Has she ever, cracked any codes? How do we know? That's my question. Talking and singing about disinformation like she's crazy. That's a fact. How do we know that she's an expert? Just because this guy says that she is? What are the actual credentials that she has? What has she done? What is her resume looking like? That's the question. Does anybody know? Real quick, if you guys could make sure that you take a moment to do the survey in the chat, make sure that you guys do that. Okay. Also, if you have not smashed that like button, please do me a favor and make sure that you guys smash that like button. All right. We got 8 likes. If everybody who's watching the video right now takes a moment, smashes that like button, and shares the video out, we will be over 20 likes at 20 minutes, and that's great. So if you guys are enjoying the broadcast and you want to support the content, that definitely helps. You know what I'm saying? D-Buck says they all have an agenda. That's a fact. I totally agree. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's what's up. Tia said, I got notified about a minute after you started. Hey, that's not bad. I'll take it. If you guys got a YouTube notification, drop a thumbs up emoji. If you didn't get a YouTube notification, drop an angry face emoji. And also make sure you go to the description box and follow the other social media to make sure that you get a notification all the time. Carla said she never heard of her until I read the article the other day. See? That's one of the reasons why it's so important to make sure you get your daily dose of radiation. You know what I'm saying?
Would you be okay if Donald Trump were president, if he created this disinformation governance board, or if it is in place and he wins again in 2024, that he's in charge of such a thing?
I believe that this working group that gathers together best practices, makes sure that our work is coordinated, consistent with those best practices, that we're safeguarding the right of free speech, that we're safeguarding civil liberties, I think is an extraordinarily important endeavor.
Now, here's my question. Let's talk about this pragmatically. Protecting freedom of speech. Is it just me, or over the last 5 years, does it seem like a lot of conspiracy theories have started to come true? Is it just me, or does it seem like that happened? Now, here's the thing. Is it just me, or has the generally accepted information about C-19 stayed the same since the beginning of the pandemic, or has what people accept as the truth and the reality about C-19 changed? Now, if you guys recall, were people getting silenced? Let's talk about Hunter Biden. People found out that he was a J. People found out that he was a geek. People found out that he was a crack fiend. He's a presidential pookie. That's what people found out. And they found that out because of the New York Post and a story that they cracked as a result of Hunter Biden leaving his computer at a repair shop. If I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been in Delaware, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it wasn't. I can't remember where it was. They removed that story from the internet. If you guys remember, they removed it. It's gone. Well, it was gone. Now they've brought it back. They brought the story back. And it got brought back because the New York Times substantiated it. Okay. Who says that the New York Times has more or less credibility than the New York Post? No one. Who says what is information versus what isn't? As a result, somebody could make a leap and say that because that information got restricted at the time that it was disseminated, it could have impacted the election. Yeah. Like Kareem says, at the time, they said that it was fake news by Russian bots. Now, here's my question. Do you guys feel that that information not getting out or that information being stifled had an effect on the election? If you guys feel that it had an effect on the election, type in a 1. If you don't feel that it had an effect on the election, type in a 2. Now, here's my question. Who is the people that said that it was okay to do that? Who are the people that said, you know what? It's all good. It's all good. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. We'll just slide this one under the rug. Who makes that decision? What I find the most interesting is, shouldn't there be some kind of fact check from neutral third parties? They're not worried about a fact check from neutral third parties, though. They're worried about controlling the flow of information. See, that's all this is. This organization is more than likely going to act as a information gateway. You see, it's going to act as an information filtration system. It's going to act as a narrative controlling mechanism. I don't think that this organization is very concerned about mis or disinformation at all. I think that this organization is concerned about control. If you guys agree, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. Kareem says, who checks the fact checkers? I guarantee you, once they've solidified this organization, we'll have no idea. We'll have no idea. The only idea that we'll have is that there's certain things that we are versus aren't allowed to say. And that's a good question. Terrence Jackson says, is there such thing as a neutral third party? That's a great question. Is there such thing as a neutral third party? That's the ideal situation. But does that exist? Hard to say. I can't say with 100% certainty. I don't know who those people would be. I don't know where we would get them from. I don't know how we would determine whether they're truly neutral or not. Do you guys? And if we can't figure that out, do you think the United States can? Just a question.
Before I let you go, I'm sure you have heard that Kevin McCarthy, now the Republican leader who hopes to be Speaker if Republicans take over in November, will consider impeaching you. Your response?
I am incredibly proud to work with 250,000 dedicated and talented personnel, and I look forward to continuing to do so.
No concern about that?
I am not. I am.
It's interesting how he just doesn't answer questions. I find that fascinating. He just proudly doesn't answer questions either. Just sits there with a blank face and, yeah, I'm just not going to answer this question. Right out of, a hip hop cartoons video. You know what I'm saying? We are almost at 20 likes, guys. We have 12 likes. We need 8 more. If you guys have not smashed that like button, make sure that you guys take a moment and hit that like button. We need to get to that 20 likes. All right. So let's get that.
I'm focused on mission and supporting our incredible workforce.
Let's start with the numbers. About 7,000 migrants are currently apprehended per day. That's the highest in years. But your department's highest projections say that number could double or maybe even triple, as many as 18,000 per day, and that's without the pandemic restriction in place. Is that number really possible? And are you prepared if so?
So, Dana, what we do is we prepare and we plan, and we've been doing so for months, understanding that the Title 42 authority that the CDC holds is not going to be around forever because, quite frankly, we want to conquer the pandemic and put it behind us. And remember, Title 42 is a public health authority. So what we started to do in September of last year was prepare for its end. And we're not projecting 18,000, but what we do in the department is we plan for different scenarios. So we're ready for anything that might
Yeah,
materialize.
and I
Shouts out to
understand
my
you're not
man, Jay.
projecting it, but it is an estimate that was put out by, as you said, by your department. And I just want to be clear, what you're telling me is that because that is a figure, again, that came from you guys, the department is prepared to handle that very large figure if, in fact, that comes to pass, 18,000 migrants per day?
It is our responsibility to be prepared for different scenarios, and that is what we are doing. And we have incredibly talented and dedicated people. There is no question that if, in fact, we reach that number, that is going to be an extraordinary strain on our system.
Now, what do you guys think about that? That's a lot of migrants. That's a lot of migrants. You don't hear about that very often. Now, here's my question. Why not? Now, and I also got another question. Do you think that that's some of the quote disinformation that they're going to try to control? If you think that that's some of the disinformation quote that they're going to try to control, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. You guys see what Carla said? Carla said, did you see the distinction she makes between migrants and immigrants? Absolutely. Absolutely. Pay close attention to that.
But we are preparing for it. And that is why the plan we have prepared calls for a number of different actions, not just in the domestic arena, but also with our partners to the south.
I just want to, I'm sure you are well aware that there are some of your fellow Democrats who are very concerned about your plans, and they're concerned that you don't have plans that are really strong enough, especially some Democrats who are on the ballot in swing districts. Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, Alyssa Slotkin, they said that your plan is too little, too late. Congressman Greg Stanton said you are not prepared, not even close. These are your fellow Democrats.
And I respectfully disagree because
So pay very close attention. This is what I want you guys to understand, and I want to get some feedback here. This is what the Democrats are saying about other Democrats. This is what the Democrats are saying about other Democrats. Now, my question for all of my critical thinking subscribers is, if Democrats are saying that about other Democrats, what should you take into consideration about the Democrats? That's my question. Mother Speaks says black voters are being replaced. I'm never voting Democrat unless reparations are signed, sealed, and delivered. Here's my question for you guys. How do you guys feel about what Mother Speaks says? Drop your thoughts on that in the comment section.
Plan that we published this past Tuesday of last week, was not reflective of the fact that we just prepared this plan, but rather we've been planning for months and months. And we heard concerns. Do you have a plan? And so what I did was I published a 20-page memorandum that described our plan in some level of detail.
Now, we should check out that 20-page memorandum. I think that that would be a good idea for us to check out that memorandum. If you guys think that it would be a good idea to check out that memorandum, type in a 1. If you don't think it would be a good idea, type in a 2. I think that we should definitely take a day, you know what I'm saying, maybe possibly get a panel. Maybe I can get TD and Izzy, you know what I'm saying, and maybe Bronze the God if he's got some time. Anybody else who wants to, you know, be involved, Tarek or anybody, you know what I'm saying, and read through that and talk about it. I think that that would be a good idea. Now, I'm down to do that, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to try to find this 20-page memorandum, but if there's anybody that runs across it, or if you happen to find it, shoot it to me, all right? Make sure you guys hit the description box All right. And follow my other social media. The quickest way to get a message to me, though, is by messaging me directly on Patreon. All right. That's the easiest way to get a message to me. All right. Might take me a little bit longer with the other social media because my social media is garbage. I get locked out of IG all the time. It's just a hot mess. I've actually had luck with Patreon, but of course, you know what I'm saying? Patreon, you got to pay $5 a month for, but that actually works. I have not had the Instagram issues with getting hacked and all of that weird stuff. And I just get too much stuff going on Facebook, and my email address is just completely full. I've used up my gigabyte that I have. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably the easiest way. Or if you have a wrench, leave it as a comment on a stream somewhere. All right. Shouts out to Shantae. What up with it, Shantae? Good to see you. And we got my man DJ Elmo in the building. What up with it, DJ Elmo? It is good to see you as always, bro. Real quick, let's check where we at. Looks like we have right now we've got 15 likes. We need 5 more likes, ladies and gentlemen. So if everybody in here watching smashes that like button, you guys see as everybody smashes that like button and as everybody continues to chat, you guys see that live number continue to go up. We want to see that number keep going up throughout the stream, and that can happen by you guys continuing to chat and also by you guys smashing that like button like you have been doing a great job of. So give you guys yourselves a round of applause. And if you haven't smashed that like button, make sure that you do.
To put to rest the concern that we have not been planning. We didn't just start this. We've been doing it for months.
So
That's
if
what we do.
18,000, if the highest projection, not estimate, projection comes out, estimate, not projection, comes out that 18,000 people cross the border per day, you are going to be able to handle that and handle it in a humane way.
Dan,
18,000 people cross the border daily. 18,000. Multiply 18,000 by 365 for me, somebody. 18 times 365. We can use that as an estimate for how many people come into the border per year. Okay. 18,000 people coming over the border a day. That's a lot of people. That's quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? It's quite a bit of people. Are you guys shocked by that number? What do you guys think about that?
and that's going to put a strain on our system. Precisely why our plan also calls for a regional approach to what is a regional challenge.
Mhm.
And we need countries to the south to manage their borders. This is not a phenomenon that the United States experiences alone. There are
Now, according to Tia's calculation, that's 6,570,000 people per year. 6,570,000 people per year. Do you guys think that that's part of the reason why the number of Hispanic people is growing so quickly? Do you guys think that that number contributes to what Mother Speaks is talking about when she says black voters are being replaced? Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
1.8 million Venezuelans in Colombia. The Nicaraguans comprise almost 2% of the population in the small country of Costa Rica. We're seeing migration because of challenges that are not, restricted to this area. They are global.
Yes or no? Will undocumented
Shouts out to Nine
immigrants who are
Nickels. What up with
apprehended
it? Good
at
to
the
see you.
border be subject to a COVID test?
So we have been testing.
And that will continue?
And actually, we have moved into a different phase where we will be vaccinating.
Now, remember, how many of you guys are subscribed to Blacklight Revelations C19 report? Do you guys remember when I did the video? There was a specific video that I did about the process at the border that they use. Do you guys recall that? And I told you that they would do this. I warned about it in that video. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. Give me a second, guys. I want to see if I can find that video. Ah, it's this one right here. Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, let me just see. Ah, yeah, I got it. There's a clip. I actually made a clip video of it. All right. It's called Unlocking America and Opening the Floodgates to Whom and What Exactly. All right. Now, it's part of a larger live stream. You know what I'm saying? It's part of a larger live stream. But if you guys are not subscribed to Blacklight Revelations C19, make sure that you guys go over there and subscribe to that channel. All right. Make sure that you guys go over there and subscribe to Blacklight Revelations C19. This is Blacklight Revelations C19 channel right here. All right. Hold on real quick. All right. So this link that I'm about to put into the chat, this is a link to the specific video. All right. So make sure that you guys hit this link, subscribe to that channel. All right. And watch that video at some point. Because in that video, we specifically describe exactly what he's talking about right there. And it's extremely nefarious. There's an article from, I believe, the New York Post, if I'm not mistaken, that goes into great detail about that. Okay. But it's kind of some nonsense. And I warned people about it. You know what I'm saying? I warned people about it a while ago.
Non-citizens who are encountered at the border.
As you well know, there is a big move in Congress to keep what we are talking about, Title 42, in place. And some lawmakers are floating legislation to keep it in place and pair it with what you consider must-pass legislation.
We need 3 likes. If everybody hasn't smashed that like button, take a moment and hit that like button. We're at 17. All right. We need to get to 20. And once we get to 20, we got to get to 30. So make sure y'all smash that like button. We getting there. All right.
Some more coronavirus funding for Ukraine.
There we go.
If
look,
large legislation.
Did you guys hear it? More money. See, you guys might have asked, well, wait a minute, what's this have to do with the title? Remember, also in the title, we're talking about money. Quiet on reparations, but Joe Biden makes a $10,000 consideration. Now check this out. This isn't the $10,000 consideration that I'm talking about in the title, but there's money linked to this, guys. Did you just hear what he said? They're going to clear out some funds out of the COVID budget. I talk about that in that video that I just shared the link to. And that video was done months ago. Okay. And it slid under the radar. I want everybody to check that out. Share that video to your friends. Watch it. It's important. Okay. Check this out.
As you well know, there is a big move in Congress to keep what we are talking about, Title 42, in place. And some lawmakers are floating legislation to keep it in place and pair it with what you consider must-pass legislation. Some more coronavirus funding for Ukraine.
More coronavirus funding for Ukraine. More? Did you guys know that there was any going on to begin with? I want to make sure you guys heard that. If you guys heard that, make sure you drop some angry faces in the chat, because if I'm not mistaken, my man TD Hip Hop Media just dropped a video where he was talking about more money going to Ukraine. And he also dropped a video talking about more money going to Native Indigenous people. And now here you go, listening to some more money being given out. But when it comes to us, what happens? What happens when it comes to us, when it comes to talking about money, guys?
Where we will be vaccinating non-citizens who are encountered at the border.
As you well know, there is
Shouts
a
out
big
to
move
Chanel. What
in
up with it?
Congress to keep what we are talking about, Title 42, in place. And some lawmakers are floating legislation to keep it in place and pair it with what you consider must-pass legislation. Some more coronavirus funding for Ukraine. If that
How come Joy Reid ain't talking about that? Now, does that sound like Russian disinformation? Do I sound like a Russian bot? I know I'm a little bit on the yellow side, but do I look like a damn Russian bot? No. So now what happens when this disinformation board starts saying, well, you know, it's kind of detrimental for people to be talking about this. We kind of need black people staying on the side of the Democrats. We kind of need black people voting blindly. We can't really, you know, we can't really afford having black people demanding what they're owed. We can't really have that. We also can't have them united doing that either. We can't have them accounting all of the times we've been bullshitting them. Because, in my opinion, this needs to get called out. This needs to get called out. Anytime we talk about our money that we're actually owed, we don't have money. But it's interesting though, man. All of these people that are not owed any money, they got it all for them. Facts. That's one of the reasons why you guys need to check out that video that I did. Carla says they were letting in the Azovs without the jab. Now all of a sudden we need to come up with this funding budget to give these people all of this money. Doesn't make any sense. This is ridiculous. I want everybody in the comment section that has been watching the video thus far to give themselves a warm pat on the back. We have passed 20 likes and we're now climbing the ladder to get to 30. We need 7 likes, guys, to get to 30. So everybody that's watching the video right now, you guys already know what I'm about to ask you to do. The same thing that I've been asking everybody to do. If everybody smashes that like button right now, we will be over 30 and on our way to 40. Let's get it.
large legislation passes, would the president sign it?
I can't speak for the president, but I will tell you
The president
that as
can't
we are
speak for the
concerned in
president.
the Department of Homeland Security,
Joe Biden can't even speak for himself. He needs somebody to feed him applesauce. You know what I'm saying? This is a fact. This is not mis or disinformation. This is a fact. Joe Biden needs a helmet. He needs somebody to tie a nice little bib around his neck, and he needs somebody to spoon feed him Gerber's applesauce from time to time and change his diaper. You know what I'm saying?
that Title 42 authority, and as the law provides, is a public health authority driven by a public health imperative. And the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, makes that assessment. What we do is we implement Title 42 as we have been. And when it ends, we will use the other immigration enforcement.
When are we going to implement reparations? That's the only thing that I want to know the answer to. When are you going to implement reparations for black people? When are you going to do right by Americans? Because let's make no mistake, we are Americans. When is America going to do right by Americans? That's my question for you guys. Do you think that the United States has the capacity to do that? That's my question.
Enforcement provisions are the authorities at our
So
discretion.
you, as the Secretary of Homeland Security, don't have an opinion on whether Title 42 should or should not be in place?
I do not, because I'm not a public
Okay.
health expert, but it's my responsibility to plan and execute as it is.
Is he an information expert? Yeah, is he an information expert? I don't think that he's an information expert either. But interestingly, he's heading an information outlet. That's interesting.
In place and plan, prepare, and execute for the day when it won't be.
You told me on the show last year that your message was do not come. That was your message to migrants. What's your message now?
The same, the very same, because our border is not open. What happens now is individuals are either expelled under the Title 42 authority or they are placed in immigration enforcement proceedings.
Now, you know what they're actually doing? They're actually rerouting them to a different point of entry. The only thing that they don't want them doing is they don't want them coming in through Mexico. That's the part that they're leaving out. And I agree. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a big advocate of reparation extraction instead of negotiation. They're never going to pay anything. These people are people that can't be bargained with. On my other channel, on Blacklight Revelations, we did a stream the other night where we talked about how civilians went to war with a business. That's one of the reasons why here at Blacklight Revelations, I support all reparations efforts, but my personal theory is extraction. My personal theory is extraction because you can't do business with terrorists. Isn't that what the United States itself said? The United States is an unwanted, unwelcomed military occupation of a country that doesn't belong to the people who are occupying it. The only way to ever get any kind of reparation is extraction and removal of the unwanted element, which is people like this guy right here. My man DJ Elmo says, I empathize with the FBA family, given the continuous and deliberate agenda to avoid reparations to FBA by the corporation called America. That's super facts. That's super facts. That's one of the reasons why we got to go with predatory business in order to extract reparations, in my opinion. Because, like I said, you can't negotiate with crooks. The only thing that you can do is contain crooks.
And they are removed if they do not have a valid claim under our law to remain. And so the border is not open. And importantly, they should not place their lives at risk in the hands of smugglers who exploit their lives for the mere purpose of profit.
So just to be clear, if somebody is watching this from another country considering coming, your message is?
Do not come.
Yeah, that's about the only thing that this idiot has said that I agree with. But remember, when he says do not come, what he means by do not come is do not come in through Mexico. That's specifically what he means. He himself, that guy there, he means do not come specifically through Mexico. That's what he means. All right. So as long as you guys understand that that's what he means, all right, then we're good, because he does not mean do not come. We all know that the United States has set aside a lot of money for Ukrainian immigrants. Okay. So the message is not do not come. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not that. real quick, guys. We have, I believe, 26 likes. We are on the way to 30, making good pace, making good time. If everybody can make sure that you smash that like button, also make sure that you hit that bell icon if you're not subscribed, and share the video out. That will definitely help us get to that 30 and start reaching 40. It'd be great if we could get to 40 by the end of this video. If you guys think that we can get to 40 by the end of this video, drop some thumbs up emojis into the chat. Me personally, I think we can do better than 40 if everybody smashes that like button. Now, this is an article from The Hill, all right? And it says Obama tackles disinformation. Now, this is interesting. They bring him out after failing to fully appreciate the issue while president. So we're going to bring Obama out and discuss his alleged failures. Interesting, right? Tools being broken. Now, I got a question for you guys. Do you all recall a notable disinformation issue during the Obama administration? If you guys recall a notable disinformation issue during the Obama administration, type in a 1. If you do not recall a notable disinformation issue during the Obama era, type in a 2. Okay. I recall one disinformation issue, an alleged disinformation issue. It actually turned out to not be disinformation, but they were doing the same thing that they always do. All right. And I agree with 9 Nichols. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely not the only thing he's failed at. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys do recall some disinformation issues that were going on during the Obama era, type them into the comment section. Okay. So now here it says, when former President Obama gave an hour-long speech on disinformation last week, it wasn't just a one-off, sources around him say. Those close to Obama said that the speech was particularly important, one for him, and he explained why he devoted so much time to the topic. Now, that's interesting, right? Kind of makes you curious. Why would Obama devote so much time to the topic? That's actually interesting. We got to do some critical thinking here. Why would Obama devote so much time to the topic of disinformation? Why would he do that? Does that make any sense? He's not the president anymore. You know what I'm saying? Why would he do that? Boom. Everybody drop some flames in the chat for my man Porter. Barack Obama himself was the disinformation alleged issue, which alleged turned out, you know what I'm saying, there was some truth in a lot of that stuff that they were saying. His administration lied on Gaddafi. Everybody drop some flames in the chat for my man RG Titan. His bill cover up their shenanigans. Drop some flames in the comment section for Shantae. And I totally agree. Donna says he thinks he still has relevance. That's a fact. We here to let you know, bro, you don't, Obama. You're not relevant. You know what I'm saying? These big speeches are rare. He hasn't done a ton of these in the post-presidency. One source close to the former president said of the speech, he's really trying to move the needle on it. The source said he views the topic as falling under the umbrella of democracy, and the speech was a part of an ongoing conversation the former president plans to continue in the coming months. Now, what do you guys think made Obama come out on that? That to me, that's kind of fascinating. It's very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Very, very interesting. Huh? Hmm. He believes this is an issue that is part of the threat to democracy. We all know what the issue is. That's the threat to democracy. We already talked about it. We already confirmed it. We already talked about it earlier in the video. And also, there's an FBI report that says exactly what the issue is to democracy. Let's say it again, though, just for the slow people in the back. If you guys know what the biggest threat to American democracy is, type it in all capitals in the comment section. Okay. So it will come up anytime he speaks, the source said, pointing to various forums he's participated in this year, including in April in Chicago. Disinformation researchers say that while Obama isn't offering novel solutions, look at this, he's not offering any novel solutions and is a bit late to the game, they are hopeful his stature and influence can help spur change, at least on the left. I can't think of another public official or even a formerly elected official who has dealt with this issue as intimately and directly at such a high level for longer than Barack Obama, said Graham Brookie, senior director of Atlantic Council's Digital Forensics Research Lab. I don't think the problem with disinformation lacks attention or awareness. Sometimes it lacks action, and a community organizer from the south side of Chicago is probably as good a person as any to do something about it, he added. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. I don't think the problem with disinformation lacks attention or awareness. Sometimes it lacks action, and a community organizer from the south side of Chicago is probably as good a person as any to do something about it, he added. Now, to me, that sounds like a dog whistle of trying to get black people involved. Yeah, and Nine Nichols, shouts out to Nine Nichols. Nine Nichols picked up on that right away. She said he lost all credibility with black people. He's the wrong person to send out. I agree. And in my opinion, that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They dragged him out of the closet to weaponize him, to try to use him to woo some of those people who are still entrenched in Democratic shillery. You know what I'm saying? The people who are still doing the choreography for the Democratic buck dance, that's who they dragged Obama out of the closet to put in front of. Because they know they just, they just follow whatever he does, follow whatever he does. We already know this is what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, guys, we're 2 likes away from 30. If you guys can take a moment, smash that like button, hit that bell. We'll be at 30. You know what I'm saying? While Obama won't deliver another major speech on the issue in the coming months or make it part of his ongoing Netflix documentary series. Now, this is interesting. Look at Obama making all that money. And if it's that important, then why isn't he making it a part of his Netflix documentary series? In my opinion, that kind of shows that they're trying to put this message in front of a specific audience. So we don't want to put it in front of everybody. We don't want to mess up our show with it. We want to make sure that the target people get it. And in my opinion, we know who those target people are. Those target people more than likely are us. That's probably who those target people are. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says sources say he is expected to continue the discussion in roundtables, forums, and town halls with his foundation. In the last year, behind the scenes, Obama has convened meetings with academics, activists, media executives, and former government officials to discuss disinformation. The source close to Obama said, he will absolutely be talking about this more, the source said. This is something that is going to involve multiple takes. Color of Change president, Rashad Robinson, said Obama first reached out to him about a year ago to discuss the issue. Robinson, like other activists, suggested Obama's best tool in this fight is his voice. President Obama has the ability to inject hope into this conversation. I hope he can inject hope into this conversation better than he solidified on injecting hope into his presidency, because I think everybody hoped his ass would do something. And then after a while, we just hoped his presidency would hurry up and be over. Yeah, I remember that. I actually did a video on that, RG Titan. The guy that hangs around with Jay-Z all the time then turned around and said that rap music was the reason why black men voted for Trump. Him and Maxine Waters and Michelle Obama, man, they came up with hell of excuses for why Trump won, didn't they? Other than the fact that they failed on every promise that they've ever made for the last 60 years. That couldn't possibly be the reason. The reason had to be rap music. Now, if rap music is making people kill, making people buy Jordans, making people disrespect women, making people buy drugs, making people do drugs, if rap music is making people do all of those things, I don't know how rap music would make anybody vote for Trump, because rap music never told anybody to vote for Trump. There's not any rap at all unless it's some corny white boys like Tom McDonald and Andrew Calhoun, which don't nobody listen to that bullshit anyway, except for MAGA people. Don't nobody listen to that bullshit. Rap didn't tell nobody to do a damn thing except for some shit to keep the fucking the prison pipeline going. That's the only shit rap told your ass. And you can't vote if you're part of the prison pipeline. So rap didn't have shit to do with any votes at all. Rap had to do with motherfuckers becoming felons, getting your voting rights taken away because you're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my man Unplugged Red Ranger X. What up with it? He's talking about Kodak and Wayne. Yeah, I remember that. Talking about Lil Wayne and Kodak Black. He might actually be talking about ASAP Rocky too. Trump kind of helped ASAP Rocky with his little situation that he was in. You know what I'm saying? Porter says that's what's making white kids go on shooting rampages. I've said this before. The white father in the family. You know how they like to say that absent black fathers are the reason why we're degenerate and criminal. In my opinion, present white fathers are the reason why white kids shoot up schools. The white father being there. You know what I'm saying? It might not be a bad idea to look into taking white fathers out of the home, because we don't have fathers in the home and we don't shoot up schools. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that ignorant as fuck? Isn't that some ignorant ass shit to say? It's just as ignorant as anytime white people decide to try to talk about our family dynamics, seeing how they've never been a part of one of our families. And let's just be honest, white families tend to be a lot more violent when a white father is involved. If I'm not mistaken, Ahmaud Arbery was killed by a father and son. The guy from FedEx was chased by a father and son. If I'm not mistaken, it was a mother and father that helped Aiden Fucci try to get the blood out of his pants. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a father and mother that got Ethan Crumley the gun that he shot up Oxford High School with, if I'm not mistaken. You know, that's just if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not spreading mis or disinformation. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, we hope that we can solve the problem and the energy for more people to get involved. And I feel like in so many ways, having the former president involved gives us the ability to welcome more people into this conversation. And again, in my opinion, man, this is nothing more than dog whistling. We want to get black people in on this. In my opinion, my advice is black people stay as far away from this as you can. The only thing that you should do as far as this goes is, if you're black, if you're a social media content creator, or if you're somebody that's opinionated, uh, make sure that you have your social media backed up. Make sure that your subscribers know exactly how to find your content and support you. All right. And make sure that you keep up to date on community guidelines as far as wherever you post the majority of your content. As far as advocating for or against this, listen, they're talking about giving money out to other people. They're not giving us any money. They don't need any time, ears, support, or effort until they start talking about reparations the same way they talking about this other dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, we are over 30 likes. So everybody in the comment section, you guys are doing great. We are now on our way to 40 likes. If everybody in the comment section right now smashes the like button, we will be over 60 likes. But if we get 8 people smashing that like button, we will be at 40 and climbing. All right. So let's get it. Let's do it. Smash that like button. Hit that bell if you're not subscribed. Share the video out. Let's get to 40. All right. At the round table in Chicago earlier this month, Obama telegraphed that he planned to put disinformation at the forefront during his post-presidency. Now, they're making all of these moves, right? In my opinion, they're making these moves in an effort to try to control the narrative towards the time where we're getting near the election. All right. If you guys agree with that, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. No doubt, bro. That's what's up. RG Titan said Trump pardoned Lil Wayne and Kodak. Yeah, that's true. I think that they're making this disinformation board and misinformation board to control a lot of negative information that they don't want discussed leading up to the 2022 midterms and also leading up to the 2024 election because the Democrat approval ratings are so bad. The Democrat approval ratings are at record lows, as they should be, because in my opinion, the Democrats have not done anything approval worthy. Now, if a measure of how the Democrats should be approved is by not living up to campaign promises and shitting on black people, well then, I mean, if that's the case, then hell, they're doing a great job. But usually that's not the idea of how politics is supposed to go. The Democrats have been consistently and vehemently working against our interests. They have earned every negative strike on the poll that they've gotten. They have thoroughly owned it. They've earned it. And that's why they got it. And they need to stick with it. And as far as I'm concerned, they're in the negative. And because they're in the negative, they got a long ways to go. They got a long ways to go before anybody looks at Democrats and thinks about trusting them, before anybody looks at Democrats and thinks about voting them, before anybody looks at or takes serious anything a Democrat says. They messed this all up for themselves. And as a result of messing everything up for themselves, now we have to try to do what we can, grasp at straws to try to control the narrative. I know what we'll do. We'll make an organization that controls the flow of information. That's not going to work. They're doomed. If you guys agree with what I just said, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. What I think our goal is going to be over the next several months as we continue to talk about this is how can we create better information for people? How can we give people the capacity to sort out truth from falsehood? During his Stanford speech last week, Obama called for a multi-pronged approach to mitigate disinformation online, urging both industry and government-led reforms. Now, there's a lot of stuff happening all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff happening all at the same time. I don't think that this has as much to do with Elon Musk and his slow ass purchasing Twitter as people would like to assume. In my opinion, that's kind of negligible. I don't think anybody cares. And also, I don't think that there's going to be as much change as everybody seems to think that there is going to be. In my opinion, it's just going to be Twitter tweaked to how Elon Musk wants it. He might put in some cryptocurrency payment systems. I mean, I don't think anything else is going to change. You know what I'm saying? We'll be here to you. We need 6 more likes, guys. If 6 people smash that like button, we'll be over 40. Make sure you guys drop that like. If you guys have dropped the like already, make sure you throw a thumbs up emoji in the comments so we know what's happening. All right. While welcoming Obama's efforts, however, some experts knocked the former president for not taking action on the issue sooner. Again, in my opinion, I do not feel that we have an out of control disinformation issue. I feel that we have what we always have, a saturation of propaganda. Shouts out to my man MC Fact. What up with it, big bro? Unplugged Red Ranger X says, nobody wants that shit. We want better politicians that support reparations. They choose to ignore the calls. That's a fact. If you guys agree with my man Unplugged, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. My man DJ Elmo says, Blacklight, by definition, Obama is non-FBA. Thus, is disrespect of FBA black folks. I totally agree. You guys agree with DJ Elmo? Type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. A disinformation expert and civil rights lawyer who thinks about the intersections, I'm on the one hand very grateful that he has come forward with a set of very clear-eyed and holistic solutions, said Nora Benovitz, senior counsel at Free Press. That being said, it feels very late in the game to see former President Obama come forward with these comments, she said. Obama himself said he regrets failing to fully appreciate during the 2016 election just how susceptible we had become to lies and conspiracy theories. In my opinion, Obama's an idiot for admitting to that. Shouts out to my man Solo T40. What up with it, bro? Shouts out to my man U-Law in the building. What up with it, U-Law? In my opinion, Obama is an idiot for admitting to that. He's an idiot for apologizing. In my opinion, it would have been negative strategically for Obama to attempt to address misinformation during his presidency because he himself was the target of these kind of smear campaigns. So it would have made it look like he was trying to shadow information about himself. So I don't think that that would have necessarily been the right idea. I don't think that would have been the best approach to take. And here, what does he do? Years later, he comes out and apologizes because he's getting criticized. What do I always say about apologies, guys? In my opinion, no good ever comes from an apology, so why do it? Why bother? But you got Obama acting like a good trained little slave, and he just goes on and does it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not wise, my dude. Not wise. But he did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Obama himself says he regrets failing. As a politician, I find it fascinating that he decided to publicly profess and admit to failure. I don't think I've ever seen any other politician other than maybe somebody from the Congressional Black Caucus do that. You know what I'm saying? And I got to agree with my man DJ Elmo. My man DJ Elmo says, what a joke. The biggest disinformation offenders is the system of illegitimacy. I totally agree. My man Terrence Jackson says the guy from Kenya didn't know about the disinformation. Right. My man Unplugged says Obama is weak. Weak policy, weak president, and anti-black. I totally agree with that. Shantae says they cover up real inflation talk, but warning to suit for their climate change. That's a fact. And we have more climate change information coming soon. Now, you guys know that we talk about climate change on Blacklight Revelations 4. I actually have a stream about some climate-related issues coming up, probably later on today. So if you're not subscribed to Blacklight Revelations 4, make sure that you do. I'm glad you said that, Shantae, because I'm actually we're going to talk about some interesting things. Some people got a big payout in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about that. Look at this. Now, remember, didn't I just say earlier how many conspiracy theories came true? Look at what Obama says. Obama himself says he regrets failing to fully appreciate during the 2016 election just how susceptible we had become to lies and conspiracy theories. Here's my question. What lies, what conspiracy theories? What lies and what conspiracy theories have we become susceptible to, guys? That's my question for you guys. So in the comment section, I need you guys to help your boy out because I clearly don't know. I clearly have an issue. What lies and conspiracy theories are they talking about? Real quick, guys, we need 3 likes to get to 40. Let's get it. Let's do it. We can do it. Maybe we can get to 50 by the end of this stream. I think we can. We need 3 to get to 40. You know what I'm saying? His speech lambasting tech companies. Look at this. Look at this. His speech lambasting tech companies marked a stark contrast to the relatively friendly relationship he had with Silicon Valley giants during his presidency at a time when tech giants accumulated such power. Now, this is interesting. Barack Obama is going in on the tech companies, right? But the tech companies are the biggest proponents of censorship. The tech companies are the biggest people who censor. So my question is, why does it make sense for Obama to be going in on these companies? I totally agree. If you guys agree with MC Fact, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. MC Fact says, fam, remember, conspiracy theory means don't ask questions. The phrase was coined in the 60s, and it was coined to divert attention from possible U.S. government involvement with JFK's murder, assassination. Steal My Beats says they ain't censoring enough for him. I have to agree with that. Looks like Nine Nichols agrees. She says they feel it's not strict enough. And I got to agree with my man DJ Elmo. Lies. The only lies is from the deceptive media and the system of illegitimacy. That's a fact. That's a fact. Steal My Beat says conspiracy is a crime. Theory was added by the CIA to negate it. That's a fact. Again, during the period of when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, they didn't want the United States population to start getting suspicious and question LBJ. You know what I'm saying? Lyndon B. Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the Department of Justice and Federal Trade Commission under the Trump and Biden administrations are now going after tech giants in antitrust lawsuits. Were you guys aware of this? Based on deals that were solidified under Obama's watch. Now, I know Facebook, they've been in some hot water as far as antitrust, but I haven't seen anything broken up. Honestly, you would think that Google would be the first one. Now, I'm not caping for Facebook, but you would think Google would be the first one. We need 2 likes. We need 2 likes to get to 40, guys. And then we'll be moving towards 50. If you guys have liked the video already, drop some thumbs up emojis in the comment section. If you have not liked the video yet, smash that like button and we'll be over 40. Okay. And I totally agree. DJ Elmo says black light. Tech companies overwhelmingly censor black users. That's been proven. That's an absolute fact. Nine Nickel says Google is down with the government. Google is down with the government. It's fucked up. The FTC's case against Facebook seeks to undo the company's acquisitions of WhatsApp and Instagram that were approved under the former president. Now, I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know how that. I don't know how Facebook owning WhatsApp and Instagram creates an antitrust situation. I don't think that Facebook owning WhatsApp and Instagram makes them more or less competitive. I honestly, what I think we're going to start seeing here is inappropriate antitrust legislation use, because I think what we have is we have an old generation of people in charge of these monitoring organizations that don't really understand how technology works, and they don't understand the significance of the technology. I think they're just looking at where they own all of this stuff and it's making it less competitive. That's not how that works. And DJ says, remember, Google got seed money from the CIA. So now here it says the chances of the FTC succeeding in breaking up Meta, the new parent company name of Facebook, now are relatively slight, but the Obama administration may have had a chance around the time of the acquisitions to use its leverage to block or impose constraints on them, said New York University Law School adjunct professor Paul Barrett. As he acknowledged, to an extent, it's a little painful to recognize how much more influential this could have been if he had delivered it while he was still president. The reason why they didn't deliver this while he was still president was so that they could have enough power to be able to be influencing information the way that they influence it today. So it was a strategic move by Barack Obama to not do anything about it. It was a strategic move by the Obama administration back then to not do anything about it so that they could accumulate the amount of influence and the amount of power that they have today. And with that influence and with that power that they've accumulated today, they've been able to make moves that have been able to allow the Democrats to do a lot of things that they wouldn't be able to do under normal circumstances, in my opinion. In my opinion, IMO. You know what I'm saying? Better late than never, absolutely. I'm glad he gave the speech. But we are far down the road with the problems he identified and how it's a really difficult undertaking to roll back the clock and roll back the bad tendencies that have come along with the advantages of social media. So what this is really is just, this is a targeted effort to try to make sure that they have some element or some reach of control when it comes to dealing with social media. That's what this is. No more, no less. Shouts out to everybody in the comment section. We are at 41 likes. We're now moving towards 50. If you haven't smashed that like button, make sure that you do it. If you have smashed that like button, give yourself a round of applause. You got us to 40. That is awesome. You know what I'm saying? And although Obama is a unifying figure on the left, experts say he could fuel a so-called cultural war attack on solutions that are nonpartisan. I think something that we're cognizant of and concerned about is the issues that we're working on don't get sort of pushed through the partisan filter that things seem to in America, says Carrie Afoco, director of advocacy at Mozilla. Laura Eldelson, a New York University researcher behind a tool to examine Facebook ads and misinformation that the platform essentially shuts down, said overall she sees Obama having a net positive effect, despite being seen as a partisan actor on the left, by elevating a sense of urgency. We just need to get something done, and that just getting something done is so hard in this climate, she said. Now, think about this. Getting something done for the Democrats is hard in a climate where the Democrats literally control the entire White House. My question for you guys is, does that make any sense? Anytime we're dealing with anything when it comes to Democrats, it's always how difficult everything is. Everything is so damn hard. It's so hard. It's so difficult. I mean, it's so hard and it's so difficult when you have complete control of everything. How does that make any sense? More money. Remember in Living Color back in the day? You guys remember what was it? Damon Wayans and Keenen Ivory Wayans? Mo money, mo money, mo. Remember that? We have 42 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Shouts out to the comment section for 82 likes. We only need 8 more likes to get to 50. If you have not smashed the like button, please take a moment and bang on that like button. Get us up to 50. That's awesome. You guys are great. Like I always tell you guys, the best subscribers on YouTube. And I got to agree. I got to agree with Shantae. He is a narc, tendency, egotistical Leo looking for a new niche. I agree. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that comment. I agree. If he wants to say something and, be an effective voice or whatever, in my opinion, he needs to produce. Okay, we hear you. Produce. Produce something. More money. More money. $10,000 is what Biden is considering spending, while never considering anything anytime anybody black says anything to him. MC Fact says that the Democrats are full of crap. They have money for everybody else but blacks. Facts. The population at large gets on code and they ask silly questions because they're silly people. How do you make money just appear? How do you make money just fall out of the sky? How the hell does this just fall out of the sky? Where'd this come from? Hello. Anytime these people ask you any of these idiotic questions, for the most part, usually all you got to do is just reroute the question right back to what. I mean, shit. What do you mean? What do you mean? Where the hell did this come from? Make it make sense. Biden is considering $10,000 student loan forgiveness per borrower. Now, if you guys know anything about Joe Biden and if you guys know anything about the Democrats, this is something that was on everybody who's a Democrat's platform. Every Democrat had some element of student loan forgiveness on their platforms during the election 2020. Do you guys remember that? How many platforms that these people had did you all read? Every single one. Even if you look at Cori Bush, go look at Cori Bush. She's not a presidential candidate, but she's a Democrat. She has a student loan forgiveness program and a universal basic income of $15 an hour on her platform. They all do. Take a look at it. I want you guys to take a look at every single Democrat, look at their individual platform, and then come back and write in the comment section after the stream if you guys saw what I'm telling you about or not. I need you guys to do that. All right. And I guarantee you that you will see exactly what I'm telling you. Now, what's the purpose of this? My man TD Hip Hop also did a video on this, and he showed how this is not going to help black people with anything. But if you guys recall, NBC came out with an article that said that this is allegedly going to be something that's used to help bridge the racial wealth gap. This isn't going to touch the racial wealth gap. This right here ain't nothing more than some racial wealth crap right here. Shantae says, I don't qualify. Debt under 10,000. See? How's that work? Now, Joe Biden, with his crooked face ass, will go around and say, "Oh, I have black people." How? How's that work? Make it make sense. So we got people that this doesn't even help. Definitely doesn't help me. Shit, because mine is way over 10,000. That shit ain't shit but a fragment. That's like if I owed somebody $1 and somebody gave me a penny. That's about how much $10,000 will help my ass. Shit. This don't help anybody. What it does is it helps make Joe Biden. Well, say I had the black community's back. You didn't have the black community's back. You never had. This isn't reparations. Get this shit off the table and start talking about reparations. And if your dumbass wants to bring up, quote, native indigenous people, then bring up the black ones that are owed reparations. Other than that, there's no discussion. Look at this crooked stroke face having ass motherfucker. It looks like he just took his head out of a mountain of cocaine that he was sniffing with his son for their birthday. You know what I'm saying? Stupid ass. So now here it says the Biden administration is taking steps to act on a campaign promise to cancel massive student debt, according to sources at The Hill. Now, pay attention to this. They're claiming that this is a campaign promise, just like how they claimed that Ketanji Brown was a campaign promise. Joe Biden and the Democrats need to get cut off. They need to stop being allowed to be saying that stuff that they came up with is a campaign promise. We don't care what you pulled out of your ass. We care what we demanded from you. And we didn't demand ever Ketanji Brown. We also didn't demand student loan forgiveness. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the Democrats just declaring that they're doing some shit and saying that somehow is some kind of campaign promise to us. It's not. That's not how that works. If you guys agree with what I just said, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. My man Unplugged says if you take an x-ray of his head, it will be nothing but a bone, like in old cartoons, and it might be some smoke filling his skull, but that's about it. There's nothing in there. There's definitely no electrical activity in there, and it definitely ain't no damn thought going on in there either. The administration is looking to take executive action. Executive action, remember? Some shit that was unconstitutional when it came to us, to forgive $10,000 per borrower, with sources claiming even bigger options are on the table, guys. So he's going to use executive action for cash payments of $10,000, and that's the minimum. I need to see who's voting for Democrats in here, right? If you're voting for Democrats and you are in the chat currently, please put an elephant emoji into the chat. If you are not voting for Democrats currently and you're here, make sure that you put an angry face in the chat, all right? President Joe Biden's move to forgive $10,000 per borrower would clear loans for 15 million of 46 million borrowers, Bloomberg reported. Such action would clear $321 billion of federal student loans and would completely wipe out student debt for almost 12 million people, CNBC noted. Now, these are people who chose to go to school, chose to sign promissory notes, and chose to pay that shit. For people who had no choice in being here, they got nothing. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this? This is the Democrats. I want to know what emotions are going through your head right now. With emojis in the comment section, show how you feel about the Democrats. Show what's going to happen to the Democrats in 2022 and in 2024. The White House has not set an official timeline on executive action, but some legislators reportedly worry that the move could worsen already heightened inflation ahead of November midterms. Now, if you guys recall, how many of you all are subscribed to the Oil and Gold Railroad? You guys remember during the Ukraine series, when we were talking about the Oil and Gold Railroad, we said as a result of inflation and as a result of the rising oil prices, one thing that the Democrats would most likely do is during the election period of time, what they would more than likely do is offer stimulus packages. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the community post that I posted, but the Democrats offered a $400 stimulus check in Colorado to, quote, offset gas prices and inflation. If you guys remember that, type in a 1. If you don't remember that, type in a 2. Okay? But they did it. It's happened. Okay? This is what we're seeing right now. We have 45 likes, ladies and gentlemen. 45. I'd really like to close this stream out with 60. Do you think that we can do it? If you guys have not smashed that like button, take a moment, smash that like button. If you haven't shared the video out, please make sure that you do. When you're done, make sure that you tell a friend, tell them I saw some good information, send them the link, have them smash that like button and watch the video. This is probably one of the best comments that has been put in the chat today. We need about 900 Marcel Dixons on the polls. That's a fact. If you guys agree with Unplugged, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. I totally agree. Now, here's my question. How do we get 900 Marcels on the polls? Because we are a key factor in that happening. We're a key factor in that. So if we want that, we got to get it. My question is, how do we get it? So now here it says, I would see that as a good first step. Whatever Biden feels comfortable doing is fine. Good old Clyburn. Good old Clyburn. Now I got a question. I'm not sure if this is true or not. This is just what I heard. I heard that Jim Clyburn was all of you guys' favorite politician. Now, I don't know who would tell such a nasty lie if that's not true, but let me just make sure, because I don't want to say anything too bad about him and get anybody in here too upset. I want to be respectful to the old sharecropper, okay? Like Professor Black Truth calls him, Negro Jim Clyburn. You know what I'm saying? And Nine Nichols says, nah, 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 negativo. All right, well, that's okay. That's what's up. Look at this. Look at what this instant cream of wheat motherfucker said. James Clyburn and his instant cream of wheat ass. I would see that as a good first step. Whatever he Biden feel comfortable doing is fine. And I'm going to do whatever I feel comfortable doing. Stupid ass. Majority Whip James Clyburn told The Hill. I find it ironic that his sharecropping ass is called the Majority Whip. His ass should be motherfucker that takes the majority lashes. You know what I'm saying? I agree with what MC Fact just said. We have to financially put out our own candidates. That's a fact. Chanel said that is not the truth. I'm glad, you know what I'm saying? Look at this. Clyburn, look at this. Clyburn has allied with the Biden administration. Of course he has. Turned his back on us and allied with the Biden administration. Though he admits $10,000 is not enough. According to the Hill's report, he continues to work with Elizabeth Warren and others to forgive up to $50,000 of student debt per borrower. This should be an automatic W for Marcel Dixon. If you guys feel that this should be an automatic W for Marcel Dixon, just simply because of the nonsense that this babbling, balding dumbass just uttered out of his mush mouth, type in a 1. These receipts need to be replayed. These receipts need to be shared all over Twitter and all over Facebook, especially come election time. Especially come election time. This stuff needs to be on constant play because you know how quickly people forget. You know what I'm saying? You know how quickly they forget. Biden stated Thursday that he is not considering $50,000 in forgiveness per borrower, but he did recently issue another extension, look at this, of the pandemic pause on federal student loan payments. The White House said if Congress passed a bill canceling student debt, the president would sign it into law. This week, Senate Majority Whip John Toon introduced a bill to stop the Biden administration from canceling debt. After a huge increase in our national debt and thanks to the pandemic and reckless Democrat spending, the government does not need to be foregoing billions of dollars by providing student loan relief to Americans with some of the highest earning potential, Toon wrote in a statement. What do you guys think? Good old Biden, and wherever there's Biden, seems like there's Clyburn. That's what it seems like. Wherever there's Biden, Clyburn is sniffing behind, literally. And I don't mean like position wise. I mean like actually sniffing his butthole. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you guys think about that? Let me know what you guys think. All right. Help your boy out. Make sure that you guys leave your thoughts in the comment section after the stream is over. We're at 45 likes. We need 5 more likes to get to 50. Shouts out to the replay viewers. I hope that you've made it this far. Anybody that watches the video all the way through to the end, make sure you click the links at the end of the video, either to watch the next recommended or to subscribe to the other channels if you're not subscribed. Hit that description box. Help grow the platform by hitting Patreon. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you all on the next stream. I appreciate each and every one of you. It is you guys that make Blacklight Revelations what it is. Without you guys, Blacklight Revelations would not just be another YouTube channel. It wouldn't be anything at all. So as always, I'm forever grateful that you guys chose to spend an hour and 50 minutes of your time with me. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.